Okay, welcome again. I'm happy to be here. It's nice to see you online. Um, yeah, welcome to my little office and yoga space. I've been using it for virtual yoga and it's been kind of fun. And I think you've seen a few other parts of my home. Maybe you'll get to see more of it in the next few videos. But anyways, it's nighttime. So I thought we could do a relaxing like yin yoga practice. But you can do this anytime really. If you want to take like 45 minutes out of your day to do this, even in the afternoon or morning, that's fine too. But I like to do this one especially for nighttime, especially if I've eaten quite a bit. I don't want to move around too much, you know? So before we begin, I want to just start by sitting up in a nice comfortable position, okay? So you can sit on any sort of pillow or even on a chair. And make sure that your feet are in a comfortable position so you're like not squishing them. So your feet are mobile and your toes. I like to keep my feet right underneath the knees. Just do as best as you can to keep them equal. Keep your knees, your hips in a nice line, your shoulders, your head, and the palms face up, okay? And tuck your chin the tiniest bit. So you're forced to look a little bit in front of your belly button. Give your eyes a close just for a moment and just start to watch your breath moving in your nose. Let your pelvis root down into your mat. And as you feel yourself inhaling, just let your spine like lengthen up. Imagine your spine is really light and same as the head, almost like a helium balloon lengthening. And then watch as you feel your body exhale. Try not to sink too far down as you exhale so that you start to round your back. Keep a nice long spine, but stay relaxed, okay? As relaxed as you can. Not too relaxed that you just tip and fall over. Obviously, we have to contract some parts of our body here to sit up. But just see if you can relax into it a bit. Really relaxing into any of the muscles that you feel that are really tense. Just letting your mind clear, watching your breath. By watching your breath. Watching your body. Noticing it from the inside out. Just let it slow down. Watching about 5 more nice breaths here. Noticing your diaphragm fall towards your pelvis as you inhale. And noticing your diaphragm lift up as you exhale. Just watching your breath moving there and in your body. Few more breaths. Really let go. Okay, let's try something today. Bring your palms together. We're going to make the sound Om together. The sound helps to awaken your mind and body. So to practice it, you do not want to do it too loud or too quiet, too long or too short. Just enough, okay? So let's try 3 times. Keeping the eyes low, watch your body and breath. Take a deep breath in. Oh. Again, breathe in. Last one, inhale. Take a nice full breath all the way in. And just open your mouth and let out a nice sigh. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale through the nose, nice deep breath. Lengthening up through the top of the head and the spine. Opening the mouth, exhale. Last one, inhale. Good. When you're ready, we're going to come into our first posture. It's called child's pose. So basically, you're going to have the sides of you're going to come into an all fours position. You want to have the sides of your big toes touching like this, okay? And your heels can fall out to the sides. If you're full of food, which hopefully you are, it's past dinner time, you can open your knees about hip width apart. I'll show you from the side. It's a little bit dark. I'm wearing black pants. But from here, the sides of the big toes are touching, knees are apart. If you cannot get your hips to the heels, you're going to place a pillow behind your heels and bum, okay? You can stay like this or just start to walk forwards little by little. If you can get your head on the ground easily, you do it. Otherwise, you can even stack two fists on top of each other and the rest of your forehead on it. Or you might even have to go get a few pillows. Okay. And for yin yoga practice, we hold each posture for about 3 minutes, just to give you enough time to really relax into the pose. Okay. So once you're in it, again, just focus your eyes towards your nose, even if they're closed or open. Then breathe into your nose, towards your chest and your belly button. And breathe out from the belly button, chest to the nose. Just really letting go here. You might feel a nice stretch through the tops of the feet and the ankles. And the feet, they can get really stiff, especially from being in like shoes all day. They're pretty much like deprivation chambers for your feet. So yeah, see if in this posture too, you can stay still, but notice where your toes and feet are. You can even like wiggle them a little bit if they become too sleepy and tired. Let's see if you can really relax here. Breathing in for about 5 to 10 seconds. And then breathing out for about 5 to 10 seconds. Make sure there's no pain in your knees at all. If there is, if it's too much pressure, you can always put a blanket underneath your knees. Or you can just lay right on your stomach with your legs out long, your forehead on your hands. See here if you can just keep bringing your awareness back to your breath and your body, okay? We have 1 more minute to go. When we stay in postures like this for a little while, our bodies and our nervous system can relax a little bit. But maybe you feel it quite a bit, and the sensations from your body are like triggering pulses in your brain saying like, oh my gosh, this really, really hurts. But see if you can like breathe through it, Obviously, try not to make it hurt. You want it to feel okay, not too much stretch or too little. But it's sometimes when our brains, they start to feel this, our body's like screaming, we start to make dramatic stories about what is happening. So see if you can just kind of rid those stories with your breath. A few more breaths, okay? Take another full breath in and out. One more. All right. On your next inhale, I just want you to slowly lift your head, lift your chest and stomach, then come into an all fours position, okay? Stay still just for a few breaths here. Take a nice deep breath in and a nice deep breath out. You might feel a lot of like release and like blood flowing around the joints, around like your lower legs, maybe even your back. If you feel like your knees need to stretch, just stretch one leg back at a time, okay? Take a deep breath in, stretch one leg, and then bring it back down. Do the other side. If you found that helped, stretch your right leg back, and then put it back down. Now let's try a child's pose with the knees together just for 5 breaths. If it's too much, maybe you had too much pizza or pasta. I had tons of spaghetti. Oops. But what you can do instead of having your knees together and bringing your hips towards your heels is have your knees together, your hips over your knees, and you're going to bring your hands out and then your forehead down like this. This is called the melting heart pose. So either this way or child's pose with the knees together, hips towards the heels. Just hang for 5 more breaths, wherever you are, okay? And hold yourself together, especially if your hips are over your knees. You have to push your hands and feet apart a bit, right? But relax into the way you hold yourself together a bit. Take a few more nice deep breaths. Awesome. When you're ready, I just want you to lay straight on your stomach and then rest your forehead on your hands. Just relax here. Just lying down like this can be beneficial for the digestive system. Putting a little bit of pressure on it can be good for it. And taking a few more nice breaths here. Just laying on your stomach. If you have a sore back, and this is kind of aggravating it, what you can do is take your legs a little bit wider apart, maybe mat width or even more, okay? So stay like this if you have a sore back or it's really sensitive today. Otherwise, we'll come up into the Sphinx pose. So for Sphinx, you pretty much want to set yourself up in like the Sphinx statue like position. So you press up onto your elbows, just like this. And the legs are apart if your back is sore. Otherwise, you can try bringing your legs closer together like this. And make sure too that your feet aren't flopping out or in. Just point them straight back, okay? Now, to hold yourself up, root down through whatever's pressing down, not too hard or soft. Just applying enough pressure to the bones. And then lengthen up and out through the spine again, through the inhales, keeping the head nice and light. As you exhale, keep the length. Do you want to feel a nice stretch across the whole front of your body? And we're adding a little bit of stress in the lumbar spine. Healthy stretch. So again, using the diaphragm to breathe. Even closing your eyes if you'd like. Watching your breath moving in your nose here. If you feel nothing still, I'm going to get you to bend your knees. So you're lifting your feet up and you might feel a stretch. And the intensity of the pose becomes a little bit stronger. See if you can breathe through it. Keeping the eyes still and focused so that the mind isn't wandering. Keep your face nice and relaxed, the ears open. And making a nice rhythm with your breath. Inhaling for about 5 seconds or even 10. And exhaling for the same. A little bit less than a minute to go, okay? If still you feel nothing and you want to try a bit more for this last like 45 seconds, you spread your hands and you can lift your elbows off the ground. So in yin yoga, they call this the seal pose. And you want to lengthen up through your toes, the tops of your feet. And you're extending, reaching out through the legs. And you want to lengthen your tailbone down towards your pubic bone gently. As you let your pubic bone lengthen down and back towards your tail. Lift and lengthen through the midline, lift your sternum, relax your shoulders and face. Take a few more breaths, okay? Good, and just slowly come all the way down. Lower your feet, your elbows, place your hands on top of each other. Rest your forehead or the side of your head on your hands. Take a few nice long breaths here. You can even take a nice deep breath in through the nose and sigh out through the mouth. Okay, on your next inhale, I want you to lift your head, place your hands down by your low ribs, tuck your toes under, press down, and come up into an all fours position. Once you're there, you can point your feet straight back or tuck the toes under, your choice. Let's go through 5 rounds of cat-cow. As you exhale, really rounding your whole back, showing your spine through your shirt, flexing the spine. And as you inhale, extending through it. But try not to crank your head too far back so that you start to like crunch the vertebrae back there. Leave some space all around the neck. Keep it going, okay? Exhale, rounding. Feeling a stretch throughout the whole back of your body. And then inhale, lifting. Feeling a stretch to the front. A few more. Exhale, rounding. Feeling that stretch and relaxing into it. And inhale, lifting. Same feeling and letting it go. When you're ready, I want you to sit down with your legs out long in front of you. Okay. So we're going to go into a few forward bends. This can be quite calming to the nervous system. But before we go, I'm going to get you to do a few joint rotations to help you loosen up the feet and the lower legs. Okay, so just want you to lean back a tiny bit like this. Just make sure that your shoulders are relaxed and your Spine is long. Now inhale, spread your toes open nice and wide, spread the bones of your feet. Then look at your feet, like how are you spreading them open? Exhale, close the toes nicely. A few more, inhale, open the toes. You don't have to do it too hard so that your feet get stiff. And exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Now keep them open and relaxed. Have your feet together and just make nice circles with your ankles so that we're flexing them, extending, and we're inverting and everting, okay? So we're taking all of the ranges of motion of the ankles here. And circle in the opposite direction. My yoga teacher says this is like the Queen's wave, but with the feet. Then from here, just to juice up the synovial fluids in the joints, I want you to imagine like you're squeezing your thighs, your upper thighs, so that your kneecaps, like pull in. So watch I'm gonna inhale, squeeze, and then kind of pull in. Then exhale, just relax them. So the kneecap moves away from the knee joint. Do that again a few more times. Exhale, squeeze your thigh so that your knee kind of pulls down, not too hard. And then inhale, relax. Just let it go. One more, inhale, squeeze, then exhale, let go. Good. Few more. I'm going to get you to come into this shape, like a butterfly, with your feet turned out if possible. Before we begin, I want you to take your first two fingers and your thumbs, in between all of your toes. Start with your left big toe. I just want you to massage in between a few times. Okay, just pull and wiggle. And then go to the second toe, massage in between, pull and wiggle. Third toe, pull and wiggle. So our hands and our feet, our skin, they're our sense organs, right? So we want to make sure that we can sense well with them, and this is a way to do it. And keep moving towards like the fourth toe, and then the pinky toe. And just give your left toes a wiggle. Should feel like toes now. And do the other side, just pull and wiggle the inside of your left big toe or your right big toe. And then the second right toe. And then the third. It might feel painful for some of you, but maybe nothing for some. And then the fourth. And then the fifth. Okay. Try this now. Stick your fingers in between your toes. Maybe. If not, you can try this again tomorrow and then try again, okay? If you want to try, you stay like this with your hands on your toes and you bring your feet closer together, or you have your hands out in front of you, okay? And you can have your feet touching, both ends, or the inner edges opening, your choice. Now, take a deep breath in, lengthening up, and just slowly, little by little, go forward, okay? Until you feel something. Maybe you'll feel it in your back or your hips. Wherever you feel it, notice it and breathe through it. Breathe into it and out. If this is too much on your knees, remember you can sit up onto something just to elevate your hips a little bit higher than your knees. You can even place blocks underneath your knees. If you can go down a little bit further, you can even make two fists and rest your head on top. Or resting your head in space is fine.
So you're going to feel a little bit of contraction around like your leg muscles, around like your thighs. Let's see if you can notice it. Hold yourself together well, but relax into it little by little, not too much. Just finding a nice stretch. And then using your breath. Paying attention to the visceral sensations of your body and breath.
Almost there, okay? If you need to come out early, please do. But we're going to hang out for one more minute.
That's about 5 rounds of breath. If you breathe in for 5, and a little bit more, and breathe out for 5.
Watch your body as a whole. Even though you might feel a lot of the stretch in your lower body, watch it all. Where are you tensing now? Can you relax into it? Almost there. Take another full breath all the way in. And a deep breath all the way out. And slowly, slowly, make your way up to sit little by little. Once you're up, try not to come up too quick. Take a full breath in through the nose, grounding through the pelvis, lengthening up through the spine. And with the exhales, let's open the mouth and sigh. Ah. Okay, lean back, bend your knees. Just give your legs a little shake from side to side. Make sure that your knees are tracking the same way as your feet, just to protect your knees, okay? Okay, next, we are going to go into thread the needle pose. If you want to try something harder, I'll show you swan pose after. So it's pretty much like pigeon pose. But this is a easier way to do it. So basically you're gonna lay on your back with your feet up like this. So your legs are in like a 90-degree angle. And you're gonna cross your right ankle just above your left knee here. And then try, just to keep it equal, either plantar flexing your ankle, so pointing your feet, or dorsiflexing them. Maybe even dorsiflexing the right one to protect the right knee joint. So you can stay like this, and already you might feel your muscles contracting a little bit in like the right side of your thigh and the right side of your glute. Maybe around your hips. So if you feel that, you can stay like this. You can even press your hands into your leg and then pull back into your hands. So you're like taking an isometric movement here. Stay like this, or you hold the back of your left thigh with your hand. You can even reach for the front of your shin or your ankle. And hang out here for a moment. If you feel nothing and you wanted to try the swan pose, basically you'll come up onto your hands and knees. Bring your right knee behind your right wrist, your right toes behind your left wrist. You're gonna keep your left leg behind your hip. Try and keep your hips square, your shoulders square. You can stay like this, or walk your left leg back little by little. Maybe getting the right sitting bone closer to the ground. If you're really tight in the hips and you're trying swan, You can have your heel closer to your pubic bone. So wherever you are, if you're in Swan 2, you can stay up or come down. Just make sure there's no pain in your knees, right? Otherwise, thread the needle. Stay for a little bit longer, okay? If you're in thread the needle and you want to add a little bit of movement, you can always rock from side to side a little bit. Maybe even make circles with your legs. And then eventually just becoming nice and still. Make sure that your chin is not jutting back too far. You want to tuck it the tiniest bit so that you're balancing on the middle back of your head, looking towards your nose and belly button. And in yoga, they say when you look towards your nose and your belly button, you can envision your whole body clearer. In your mind, you can see it as a whole easier. Almost there, okay? A few more breaths. Okay. If you're on your back, in thread the needle, I just want you to uncross your legs. Place your feet on the mat, take a few breaths. If you're in Swan, press yourself up, bring your legs back, go into a child's pose or downward dog. Wherever you are, breathe for 5 breaths, okay? If you're on your back, you can always windshield wipe your legs or hug your knees in. All right, let's switch sides. So if you want to go right into swan pose, you can. I'll show it to you again in a moment, but I'll demonstrate. Thread the needle first. So again, left ankle over the right knee. Flex the ankles. Place your hands behind the back of your right thigh, top of the shin, or just press your hands into your left leg. Oh yeah, and if this is too much too, you can just hang out with your right foot on the ground, like this. Okay, let's hang out for a bit. And if you needed a reminder for swan pose, basically from an all fours position, the left knee goes towards the left wrist. Bring your left toes behind your right. Make sure your right heel is behind you, right in line with your hips. Walk your right leg back little by little. You can stay like this up for a while or walk your hands forwards. You've got about 2 more minutes to go wherever you are, okay? And even though we're in like an asymmetrical posture, see if you can keep it symmetrical, as balanced as you can. If you're in like that swan, see if you can have those shoulders a little bit forwards. There should be a little external rotation in that left hip, tiny internal rotation in the right. And if you're in thread the needle, you can push your hands into your thigh into your hands gently. And really relax into the body. But not too much, right? Almost there. A few more breaths. Yeah, if you're on your back, you can rock a little bit. Take another full breath in and out. And come out the same way that you came in. Thread the needles, lay on your back. You can windshield wipe, swans, press it back onto your hands. Push your legs apart, bring your left leg back when you're ready. Child's pose or downward facing dog. Nice work, everyone. Take about 3 more deep breaths here. Okay, now look forwards, sit down, and then lay down on your back. We'll take a few quicker movements and then we'll rest, okay? So from here, same as we did before for thread the needle, keeping a 90-degree angle with the legs. So we're gonna work on a twist. Reach your arms out to the sides, palms face up or down. Your arms can be out long or bent. And try and keep your legs together in the shape. Take a deep breath in. Bring your legs over to the left side, nice and slow. If they don't go all the way down, you can hover, or just take your right shoulder off the ground a bit. You can guide your right leg closer and closer to your left. Just eventually getting that right shoulder down, okay? If the neck is okay, and it can go for a stretch, you can look towards your right hand. If it's too much, look to your left hand. Take a few nice balancing breaths here. At the end of your next exhale, tone your lower belly, your back and glutes. Squeeze your legs together and come back up. Inhale and exhale. Take another deep breath in. Keep the 90-degree angle shape in your legs. Keep some ground. Bring your legs over to the right slowly. Breathe for 5. You can use your right hand as a guide to guide your left leg down. 4. You can really give your neck a big stretch by looking to your left hand. 4. 3. If your arm goes numb and tingly, bring it down by your side, okay? 2. And 1. Inhaling, come back up to center. Hug your knees in, lift your head, exhale through the mouth. Ah. A few more, take a deep breath in. Ah. Last one, inhale. Ah. Now relax on your back. legs out long for Shavasana. You can rest with your legs long if it's comfortable on your back. If not, try bending your knees. You can even reach your arm up, one of them, and rest on your arm. Rest on your side instead if that's more comfortable. But for now, I want you to just really relax and let go. Let go of your breath. Let go of your day. Same with the thoughts in your mind. If they're really important, they'll come back to you. Just for 3 more minutes, let's really unwind and rest. For today, I just want you to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Bend your knees. Reach your right arm above your head. Roll to your right side. And use your right arm as a pillow. Press your left hand down into the mat and come up to sit. So to end class, let's bring the palms together. Give your eyes a close if you can. So let's end class with 3 ohms, okay? Take a deep breath in. Oh. Om. Om. Thank you so much for your practice. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks and namaste.